Guys, I'm Sarika and welcome to Your Knowledge Buddy. As we know, there are so many changes happening in New Zealand now, and the government has announced the new SMC points-based system. So I have invited Victor from Victor Immigration, and he's going to share all the details of the new changes and compare the old system versus the new system. So without any further delay, let me invite Victor now. Hi Victor, welcome back again to Your Knowledge Buddy.
Good morning, Sarika, and thank you so much for bringing me over once again with a new update on the immigration New Zealand.
So the floor is yours. What's happening in New Zealand? What's the point-based system? How is it changing? If you can explain that to our audience, will be helpful.
To your audience, so today we got some exciting news and we will do a comparison between the previous skill migration policy, which is called SMC category, and the new simplified system, which is going to kick in October 2023. So you can be ready for that opportunity. So first of all, I would like to just touch base that the existing system, which is called skill migration category, which attracts and invites applicants from all around the world. It means doesn't matter where you are, you can, if you meet the points threshold, which is based on age, qualification, work experience, English, job offer, those sort of points, which are called settlement factors. So Sarika, what was happening earlier, this policy has been in the place for a very long time. And there was no modification. Only the point threshold was going up and down, basically.
Yeah.
So the previous policy was like with 100 points with the settlement factors, you can combine the points and you can apply for a expression of interest. And then your EOI, expression of interest, goes into a pool and then it gets selected. Earlier, it was happening at 140 points. We did a lot of migration applications at 140 points. Then it went up to 160 points. And then the last selections, which are currently happening, and we are getting a lot of invitations at 180 points. Okay. So as discussed in a previous video, so how it works is people get paid points for age up to 30 points, then for qualification up to 70 points, and then experience up to 50 points. Audience, you can see here that we are talking about the new changes with the New Zealand immigration system. And the skill migration category is converting and changing into simplified skilled migration category. And I'll be honest with you, definitely this new system is more simple to understand. And so I'll just quickly go through that. This was the previous process. Under this previous process of SMC, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are explained. Basically, you calculate your points, 180 points. You need to meet the English requirement with 6.5 bands or equivalent. Then submit the expression of interest. You receive an invitation to apply. Then you get 4 months to make a full residency visa application. You submit the application and then you will be granted a residence visa or a job search visa, basically. So if an immigration officer believes that you should only get a job search visa and you should give a skill test, basically, that you get that visa, come to the country, find a job, and then your residency application will be finalized. So this was the current policy. So this is the point system for the audience, those who would like to still apply before the 9th of October 2023. Then this is the policy they have to look into. And we can share the link of the point indicator on at the bottom of this video so that you can just click on that and you can calculate your points yourself. And if you have any questions, we are always there to support the audience. So now, guys, let's move on to the new policy and what's going to happen and why we are calling it as a simplified visa policy. So this policy has 6 points, basically. So these are the parameters. I will go one by one and explain that how it works. So the first of all is if you have a job offer in New Zealand, as well as you have a registration in an occupation which requires 6 years of training to fulfill, as well as it's amazing news for PhD holders. If you are a PhD, it means you have a doctorate degree. You don't have to do much. You just have a job offer and a doctorate degree. Still, straight away, you can get your residency application. And the good news is that if you're meeting all the point threshold, it's a straightforward, simple application. You might get the result within 6 to 8 weeks. So that's amazing news because earlier system was having a hold up, basically, and people had to wait sometimes for up to 2 years. So this policy is definitely a good news for the highly skilled people, those who have doctorate in any field. So I'll quickly show to our audience that what sort of occupations are we talking and what sort of people we are attracting here. So guys, here there are around 45 occupations which require registration in New Zealand. I've got all the list here. So if you are one of these, then it's a good news for you. So yeah, we can definitely assist you in understanding the policy even better and how to get the qualification assist by the registration authorities. We can help you with all these factors. So we'll move to the next point now, how this policy is launched and how it's gonna go ahead and how you can claim the points. So from 9th of October 2023, you only need 6 points to qualify. You can claim 3 to 6 points from your New Zealand occupational registration, which we have just covered. And then the qualification, you should have a bachelor's degree or higher. So basically, when we talk about this, if you have a master's degree and if you have a job offer in New Zealand, if you have New Zealand work experience, you can claim points together and you can apply for the residency. So there are different factors to claim these 6 points. So you are not like, if you're not having occupational registration, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the road. We have different options. So if you, and there is the last point, which I would like to cover after the qualification, is the income part. So basically, how New Zealand system works, first of all, is the median wage rate. The prevailing median wage rate in New Zealand is $29.66. So they are giving you bonus points if you can prove that you are highly skilled. And the way how you can prove that is if you're getting 1.5 times the median wage rate. So I'll just take median wage rate, I say 30. And if you're getting 1.5 times, it means $45 an hour, then you get bonus points. If you're getting double the median wage rate, you get further bonus points. So if you're getting around $60 an hour. So I'll quickly go through how the system works. So this was about the points available for qualifications. So if you have a doctoral degree, you get 6 points straight away, and then you can get other points to claim your residency. Basically, you just need a job offer with a doctorate degree and you are getting your residency. If you have master's degree at level 9, you get 5 points. So basically, you just need to claim 1 more points from the New Zealand work experience. So similarly, if you have a bachelor's degree, you still have a pathway. As you can see here, you get 3 points from there. And then if you have a job offer, you have New Zealand experience, you can get residency. So now we'll move to the next point, which is the wage threshold. This is very interesting. So if you're moving from overseas and as soon as you land, if you have this sort of skill set to prove that you're highly skilled, then you can get 3, 4, or 6 points from a job offer with a median wage rate multiplied by 1.5 or 2 times or 3 times. So if somebody is highly skilled, Sarika, like IT professionals, we do get a lot of engineers and IT graduates, those who are coming here in New Zealand with a job offer, and they're getting 3 times the median wage rate. So approximately around $90 an hour, which is quite possible nowadays. Why I would say possible, Sarika, is a lot of brain drain is happening at the moment. A lot of people, those who come to New Zealand, the policy of New Zealand, when they become New Zealand citizens, Australia opens up their doors for them. So they can straight away just enter Australia with the New Zealand passport, and they get a special category visa, which is subclass 444. They can move to Australia, they can live there, they can work there, they can run a business, their kids can go to school and universities and attend free education. And now with the new announcement of Australian immigration, that if you are a New Zealand citizen, you're coming to Australia for 4 years. After 4 years, you get Australian passport as well. So you get dual citizenship between Australia and New Zealand. You can carry both the passports. So what do you think of the policy, Sarika? How is it looking?
Interesting. You had already covered this last time when you came to talk about one of the visa categories. So I remember that, but interesting.
Yes. All right, guys. So this is the last few slides I would like to cover so that then Sarika can ask me some questions if she feels like, and then we can go through those. So I just wanted to cover and give you a brief idea how the policy and the system is looking. So guys, what's the meaning of full-time employment in New Zealand? That's a very important factor, because in India or in other countries, because we have audience from all around the world, we need to understand what's a definition. So basically, in New Zealand, we have ANZCO levels. ANZCO is Australia, New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupations. And in these occupations, we have skill levels. So skill level 1 to 3 are basically technically qualified people, Basically, I'm talking about managerial levels, accountants and engineers, doctors, all those people fall into 1 to 3 skill level. So if you are 1 to 3 skill level, you need to only meet minimum criteria of median wage rate. If you are getting paid 29.66, you can apply for residency. If you are skill level 4 and 5, so that's basically laborers. If you are doing something which doesn't require any skill, then you need to have 1.5 times the median wage rate to be able to apply for residency. And the number of applications, that's a very important question, because a lot of people ask, what is the quota on the scheme, on this policy? So guys, the good news is that there is no quota, no threshold. So any n number of people can apply for this simplified residence applications. And the last thing I would like to just touch base on is some requirements are not changing. So what does that mean? For any visa application, when we make an application to New Zealand authorities, embassy, there are some basic criteria which you have to meet. So just like character requirements, you have to be a good character. I want to touch base on that, Sarika, because we have done a lot of cases where the character was not up to the mark. Basically, somebody was deported or overstayed or had visa refusals. So I would like to touch this. It's a very important factor. So character requirement means you have to be acceptable standard of character or a good character. If you have any of these, like if you had past visa refusals or any issues with your character, then there is a policy in New Zealand immigration which is called character waiver. So basically, again, this is not the end of the road. If you have a breach of visa conditions in any country, you overstayed for any reason, it's not the end of the road. We can explain the situation and get a character waiver. So still we have to meet a good character requirement. Doesn't matter how highly skilled you are. The next thing is health requirements. As you know, the countries want they don't want liabilities, they want assets. So if someone have a health condition which is of significant cost, so the new threshold which they have set is $81,000. So if to fix you, like if to fix your health problem, if it is going to cost more than $81,000, then you are deemed as risk to the country. Like if you have any serious disease like AIDS or any communicable diseases, even hepatitis A, B, C, cancer, so many diseases are there which are covered in that, or mental disorders or blood disorders. So in those scenarios, you might not be able to meet the health requirements. So guys, I would recommend and do some exercise, eat good food, and be fit so that we can welcome you to New Zealand. And guys, English language requirement stays the same, which is 6.5 overall bands. You can prove that with IELTS, PT, TOEFL, no issues at all. All these tests are acceptable. And the last thing is the best thing in New Zealand, because there is no other country which is offering you residency, skill migration residency, up to the age of 55. So it means that before your 56th birthday, still you can apply for the New Zealand immigration.
Thank you very much, Victor. So Victor's email ID is ykvimmigration@gmail.com, and it will be mentioned in my pinned comment description. You can reach out to Victor. Thank you very much, Victor. I have a small question. Is my understanding correct that in the old visa category, SMC, there was no need to have a job offer, but now with the simplified, in almost all the steps that you explained, there's still a need to have a job offer, right?
Yes, Sarika. In previous policy as well, if you talk about 180 points, it was quite hard for people to claim 180 points without the job offer, but it was definitely possible. You are absolutely right in the sense. In this new policy, when we say there is a need for the job offer, this is also not a very hard thing. As I said earlier, there's a lot of brain drain happening. A lot of employers at the moment are hungry for the employees and the skilled employees. And the new policy of accredited employer work visa, that is an indication to show that the New Zealand Immigration Authority's planning is in line with what's happening here. So earlier, this visa came up with the 3-year work rights, and this new policy, simplified residency, as well as there is a change in the accredited employer work visa. They have increased the duration of the visa to 5 years. Yeah. So that's a clear indication that there is staff shortages and skill shortages at present. Yeah. So the biggest problem that my audience find is finding a job, because they all receive rejection applying from India, Pakistan, or wherever they are planning to apply from.
the major questions which come my way is still a job offer is required and they still don't get a job, or companies are still not ready to sponsor. So are we saying just get a job offer? You don't require a sponsorship. With that job offer, you can apply your own SMC visa. Is that what we are saying?
Basically, we are talking about here highly skilled people, those who have bachelor's, master's, or PhD degrees, or if they have occupational registration. So basically, if somebody is a registered nurse, somebody is an architect, those sort of occupations which are in high demand. So there is actually a skill shortage, and definitely there is a need for the job offer. So what I would say is they should make their account at seek.co.nz, TradeMe, Indeed, My Job Space. There are different websites or portals, and definitely they have to give it a go. And we are involved heavily into the employer accreditation. We represent a lot of employers, and those employers regularly they are looking for employees. So if our team, like if our audience wants to get in touch with us, definitely we'll try to help, but we cannot promise. So if you have good English, you have good skills, please get in touch, and definitely we'll see if we can help you. No promise, but we'll try.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. That's all I wanted to ask. If you guys got any question for Victor, please make sure you leave your comments below. So if I get lots of questions for Victor, I'm going to invite him for my YouTube live session very soon. So send all your questions related to SMC. Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge on SMC.
Thank you very much, Sarika. It was good to see you again. Thanks.